Most men these days in business are pretty soft, okay? They like to doom scroll and they're not locked in. I know this because we talk to hundreds of them every single week here in my office. And I will say that it's difficult to accept the reality that that's what most business owners out there are. Yes, there's a lot of you guys that are doing well, you're doing $2.5, $5, $10 million a year, but truly you're not really concerned about reaching your potential. And that's why I created a little bit of a group for myself. It's a group, it's a brotherhood, and it's called my inner circle. We call it the SPADE group, and it has an acronym that stands for stuff, but you wouldn't understand because you're not in it, but that's not the point. The point is this, is that if you're the best person, the richest person, the fittest person, the healthiest person, the person with the most cars, the person with the most knowledge, the person with the most experience in your circle, then your circle sucks. And I just want to let you know that there's outlets and there's places where there's tons of other people that are doing way better than you in lots of different aspects in your life. In my inner circle, there's a couple of guys in the group that make more money than I do. There's people in there that are in better shape than I am. There's people that are doing better in different areas of their lives than I am, but I still host and I lead the group. Why? Well, that's because I'm locked into my potential and everybody in the group knows it. And I hold them accountable to the growth that they're looking for. And in turn, the entire group holds me accountable to some of the growth and some of the results that I'm looking for. And I will say that being held accountable to your own growth, to your own goals, and having a full send bro, if you haven't seen that video, you can click up here. Having somebody in your corner to push you and unapologetically hold your feet to the fire to keep you locked in and in the game is probably one of the biggest cheat codes you could ever have in life and in business. And in addition to the fact that we have this group and this network and the fact that we meet 6 times every single month to discuss money, baller stuff, automations, integrations, tech, hiring, firing, advertising, marketing, and all the business components, we also talk a lot about the challenges that we go through on a daily basis, whether that's hiring or firing or business, or it could even be in our own personal lives. What's hooking us up, what's dragging us down, what's distracting us, and having a group of unapologetic men saying, dude, cut the shit. That's not your problem. Get to work. Your feelings, those don't really matter in business. You can go home and cry about it later, but not on this call. Not today, not before this next business meeting. This is the type of people, this is the assemblation, if that's even a word, of a group of people that together all want to achieve their own their own potential. And if you're not a part of something like that right now, I kind of feel bad for you. And by the way, if you were in mine, we also do quarterly mansion masterminds. I was recently in the Smoky Mountains about 2.5 weeks ago with my inner circle, and it was just a phenomenal opportunity to truly look other people in the eye and tell them that they're capable of more. For instance, I have a guy in my group who does automotive fleet finance. He's been in his business for 6 years, and he's been in my inner circle for the last 3. When he first started working with me, he was making just over $100K a year, which I guess is something that most people are reaching for these days, but whatever. It's baby money. He's making $100K in a year. By his second year, we were able to help him close just about at 300, but I think it was closer to 290K. So we were able to triple his personal income. This year, he's on track to make $800,000. And I will say, the level of growth that I've seen him have is incredible, but we could pat him on the back in the group for literally 8xing his income. But in the Smoky Mountains, we were able to go outside on the deck, pour ourselves a drink, and I was able to tell him that he needs to be making $250,000 per month. Now, my buddy in this group has nobody in his life outside of me and the group that are gonna tell him that, hey dude, congratulations on making the 800K or being on track for that, but dude, that's not even close to where you should be aiming for. What you should be aiming for is something that's just not even feasible. It's insane. What this does, and in real time I saw it happen on this deck, he opened his eyes just staring out at the mountains And you could see that he had no idea how he would hit this $250,000 a month new threshold for income for him and his family. But I knew what it was. All he needs to do is he just needs to run some ads. And then he needs to adjust some of the deals that he actually does and just work on refis or refinances. The point is that he doesn't have any deliverability or any deliverables on a refinance except for refinancing a fleet or vehicles. And literally, he doesn't have to make any prospecting calls or spend any of his valuable time that he's using to make sales in acquiring more prospects. Point is, that's just one example of a random guy in the group that's been working with me for about the last 3 years, and he's already running ads. He's a man of action. I even allowed him to come into my office. We set up his ad account. We fired everything up. We made the ad creative, the description, the headline, and everything that's involved. And literally, he's generated, I think, like 9 or 10 leads in just the last 2 weeks that he's actively working now. So of course we have something that's working. Point is as a man in business, I again don't give a shit if you're doing $2 million a year or 5 or 10 or 50. The point is that you can do a whole lot better. And also the other point is that you likely are doing way better than all the other men and people in your circle. And your wife is never gonna tell you, hey, you need to double your income. Nobody that you know, one of your beer drinking buddies, fantasy football league guys at the bar, are never going to look you in the face and say, dude, your business did $3 million last year? That's peanuts. Welcome to Guppy Land. We'll let you know that that is Guppy Land. And the reason why it is because there's people in the group that do that every single month. Point is that you as a person, whether you tap the description notes below and you apply to join my inner circle because you think that would be a good fit, or you go somewhere else to join something else, go and intentionally surround yourself with other people that are doing way better than you. And even if they're not, people that seriously will consider your potential and hold you accountable to taking the actions necessary frequently and consistently enough over a period of time long enough to realize your potential. Because if you do that, you can do something like this. You should be able to 8x in 3 years. You should be able to 8x in 2 months. It all depends on what type of conversations you're having with other people. So again, if this sounds even remotely interesting, you can click the link in the description. I'd love to chat. You can apply to work within mine. I vet every single person that I'm with. Chances are pretty good that about 80% of the people that go in aren't gonna be a good fit. I'm not here for your money. I'm here for the brotherhood that we have. But again, go get around other people. And by the way, I'd love to know, have you ever intentionally surrounded yourself by a group of like-minded people that are all holding each other accountable? I mean, truly accountable to the work that it is that you want to do. And if so, have you ever lost?